we're gonna have some food and try to figure out what is the next step. Like, I have a lot of stuff in mind, but first of all, I just need the people to come out and talk to me, really. That's the first thing. So, and vote. Definitely vote for me, so, thank you.
My name is Darren Hill. Thank you all for inviting me on today, inviting us on today to have this forum. I really appreciate this opportunity to speak. I'm a native of Petersburg, born and raised. Both sides of my family still reside here. I grew up in an area called Burrsville. My parents still live there to this day, on the corner of Lincoln, Patterson Street. If you ever saw the Christmas lights every year, that's my parents' house. So I'm honored to be here on today. Graduated of Petersburg High, attended Virginia State University, got my master's at Virginia Union University as well. So I'm homebred. This is my city. I'm from here. I'm a homeowner here, and I have a business here. My business have been personal touch beauty and barber salon. Been in the city for January will make 25 years. So some of the things, my journey is a lot different than most that are up here or just trying to get up here. I saw the need back in 2015 when our council person suddenly passed away, unfortunately. So my journey came through being appointed by the council at that time, different council now, but at that time, to finish out 8 months of his first, of 18 months of his term or what have you. And then afterwards, I had to run in a special election to finish out that year. So that was in 15. So then I was appointed. Then I had to run for a year for special election. Then I had to run again in 16. I won that election. And then in 2020, I ran with a runoff with one of our council persons, Marlo Jones. I won that election. So it seemed like ever since I've been on council, I've been running for this position. But some of the things that has been done, and kind of bear with me, I won't try to bore you with a lot of numbers, but these numbers matter. Okay, you all know the debacle that we saw back in 2016 when we was almost in receivership. A receivership means that the state was going to take us and put us with another locality. Well, that didn't happen because we had a foresight to bring in expert individuals to help us get out of our situation. So we took the necessary cuts and steps and what have you to get us to where we are today. It hadn't been easy, so I'm a voice that is proven and that's trusted. We have a balanced budget. We have $50 million of cash and bonds on hand right now. You all remember the stores they had when they had checks in the bank and checks in the drawers and all that? That is no more. We came on, me and a couple other members of council came on at a point and the bottom just dropped out. But doing all the auditing and things of that nature, they found out it was some mismanagement that was going on prior to we even coming there. And everybody knows this, it's dated and stuff. The finance people, Davenport, along with our state holders, they saw those things. So, and right now we dropped our bond rating. Think about your credit score. Our bond rating dropped tremendously. But right now we're at an A+, and that's good. That means we can borrow money. That means, and we don't have a revenue anticipation notice anymore. Our treasurer is here now. He knows what that means. Revenue anticipation notice means that you have to borrow money every so many years in order to stay afloat and to pay people. Well, we don't have that anymore. And because of the leadership that I have helped provide with the council, we was able to do that. We have increased even salaries, even here recently. I'm glad to say our chief is here. We increased our first responders 10% of their salary, and then everybody else, we increased them by 5%. So our financial officers and directors are working hard, and they work through the policies and procedures that council gives them, and what have you. For city safety, whether you believe it or not, safety, the crime is down. It's down. If you look at the statistics, crime is down. We know we do have pockets here and there that spike out, but if you talk to the chief, normally it's individuals, just not like people just going around just shooting anybody. but it's something that we still need to work on. Our police department is nationally accredited. We just hired a new fire chief. Just the other day I was at the swearing in, and we was glad to do that. He's a product of Petersburg, meaning he got his start here in Petersburg back in 1989, worked a few years, then he went to Colonial Heights, became chief, worked there, and now he's back here to be our police chief. So we have reduced illegal guns, things of that nature on the street. I've been to a lot of those rallies where we have brought back guns and gave them cars and things of that nature. So economic development, as you all know, we have a $1.4 billion project that's going to be up to the citizens to vote in. 1.4 billion, not million, $1.4 billion. That came on the heads of city council and legislation working to get that here. So we have done great things in the city of Petersburg. In my ward in particular, I'm proud to say AMPAC, Civical Pharmaceutical Company is in my ward, and I helped kind of facilitate that, to navigate that as well. There's only three in the nation. This particular pharmaceutical company that makes medicines and things of that nature. One is in Texas, one is in California, and the other one is here in Petersburg. Out of all of them, they came to Petersburg. And it's not a part of my ward anymore because they cut up the wards and stuff like that, but I was proud for Berkeley Minor Estate to do their third phase to build over 80 homes there. I talked to Ryan Homes and we were able to get them over there. So there's a lot of great things going on in the city of Petersburg. I could be go on and on. But one thing I am proud of, and working with my friend here as well, is blight. If you notice, there's a lot of work going on. I met a developer today, and they're working on houses, and they're not knocking them down, but they're working on them, and they're building them up. Some of them are purchasing, some of them are getting loans for them to revitalize them. If you walk, and it's not just in the affluent neighborhoods, but it's in the neighborhood where I grew up in, Birdsville, coming down Montgomery Street, coming down Grand Avenue Street, on Halifax Street, where I grew up at. Not in East Wanny Hill, not in Camelot, but it's in the areas that need it the most. So I'm happy to be here today, and we just made history. General Assembly said that we could or we could not run as a Democratic. They wanted us to show our partisan. You know, what party you with. And I know this is a hot topic. So I decided to run as a Democrat. I did the grind. I got all my signatures because I've been voting Democrat all my life. My parents are Democrats. I'm a Democrat, and I've been voting all, and my record shows for itself. So with that being said, I'm the first ever in the city of Petersburg that's been your Democratic nominee. Although the other individuals have not, they decided on their own merit to run as independent, but I ran as a Democrat. Now, me personally, I think it should have stayed as independent, but because they offered that, I was able to take advantage of that. And I'm proud to say what our youth, and I'll end with this, our youth, we was able to revitalize Farmer Street Park. Then we're going to Legends Park. I had a hand in us changing that name from Lee Park, the oppressor of many African Americans here, to Legends Park. So I asked for your vote on the 5th of November. I'm approving a servant that you can trust. I am a pastor at Memorial Baptist Church, where we love God and we love God's people. And this is a ministry for me. People ask me, how do I juggle, sit in it? This is all ministry. Anytime you can affect people's lives, is ministry. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be here tonight. I'm Charlie Cuthbert, and I'm a lawyer here in Petersburg, and I'm native of Petersburg, and no place on earth means more to me than the city of Petersburg. The reason I decided to run for city council in 2016 was that I saw my hometown going down the financial tubes. When I got on council, our uncommitted fund balance was minus $17 million. It is now approximately, on the plus side, $50 million. Okay. Yeah. It hadn't been easy. It hasn't always been popular, but it's been important, and I'm glad to be part of the team that has made that happen. And keep in mind that nothing happens with one vote. It takes 4 votes to get anything done. Now, my slogan is trustworthy, experienced, responsive, and an independent voice. I think things through, and I vote according to what I think is in Petersburg's best long-term interest. Now, the difficulty is that short-term leads us in one direction, and long-term sometimes leads us in another. And I put the emphasis on long-term because I want to build this city up. And that's the way to do it, in my view. Now, my vision, let me talk about that. And I've thought about this, thought about all of this. But my vision is to create opportunities and remove obstacles so that each citizen can maximize his or her potential. We gotta maximize opportunities and remove obstacles. In my view, the biggest obstacle is shortcomings in education. And I wish it were not true. But I think by almost any measure, our performance in the world of public education is less than what we would like it to be. Now, my approach has been to try to get things done. Another way I look at things is this: the name of the game is to get things done. That means follow through, not just with an idea, but to see that the idea is achieved in concrete terms. Let me talk about my biggest accomplishments on council. In my view, my biggest accomplishment has been to help my fellow members of council stop the sale of our fresh water system. That was a big issue when I first got on council. Should we sell our fresh water system, we could get $20, $30, $40 million cash if we would just sell our fresh water system. At that point, we were $17 million in the hole. And I opposed that. And I opposed it because I knew that in the long term, we would have to pay back to the purchaser every penny that he paid us to begin with, and then we wouldn't own our fresh water system, which made no sense to me. Yeah, it made no sense at all. And with the support of council, and I believe it was unanimous, we voted that it was the policy of City Council not to sell our fresh water system. And thank goodness that motion carried, as I say, I think unanimous. Where would we be if that motion had failed? We would not be in charge of our own future. we would not be deeply invested in the AMPAC area, the hospital area, the area where the casino will go, if that referendum passes in November. We are at capacity now in terms of our ability to process wastewater in the area that is served by the Poor Creek pumping station. That's 31% of the entire city area. And we are at capacity now. We could not be doing this casino if we do not expand our wastewater treatment capacity. Now this is the kind of thing that it's really nuts and bolts of our future, and we gotta do it. We gotta recognize it, and we've got to accomplish it. And it's expensive. It's gonna be $50, $60 million. And we've raised most of that money already, thanks to the generosity of the General Assembly primarily. But that project is going forward as we speak. And that's why I say my greatest accomplishment on council was to help direct this city toward not selling our fresh water system. Now, I also have revived our fight against blight. When I got on city council, our blight effort was write a letter and stick it in the file drawer and never follow up. That was it. Now, thanks to a succession of good city managers, starting with Aretha Farrell Benavides, we have some muscle in our blight enforcement force and staff, and they're doing a good job, and I'm delighted to be helping to shape and direct what they do. And a third thing that I've accomplished is to respond to constituent concerns. In my view, that's what local government is all about, is responding to the concerns of you and people like you, all of the citizens of Petersburg who have a problem that the municipal government can address and help to solve. And I spent a lot of time addressing those problems. I was out for 2.5 hours today with city staff working on just that. The same is true yesterday. It's a rare week that goes by that I don't send out at least 10 emails to city staff saying, please address this on behalf of my constituent. Please address that on behalf of my constituent. And that's year in, year out. At least 10 emails. I push it. And it's the only way to make it happen. Now, let me talk about youth. I am very supportive of youth in Petersburg. And in my mind, the most important thing is to increase our literacy rate at the 3rd grade level. Because that's where learning book learning really starts. And our literacy rates are in the tank. Now, what can we do about it? We're city council, we're not school, okay? It's not our primary responsibility. But one thought that I've had that I want to explore, and I don't know where the exploration will lead us, but I'd like to explore what is today called a balanced calendar, sometimes called year-round school, okay? But I want to explore it. I'm not committing to it. I want to know more about it. But it seems to me that it's certainly worth a good close look. And as I understand it, that's what they do in Hopewell, and with good success. And it eliminates this learning loss that happens during the summer. And we've got to maximize every opportunity for our youth. We've got to open that future for them. They've got to graduate from Petersburg High School with a future in the white-collar world. And it's not happening right now frequently enough. It happens, but not frequently enough. I was talking to a man just earlier in the week. He said, I was over at Sam's Club and this robot came by cleaning the floor. Okay? The robot's cleaning the floor. So that's why education is so important. Well, thank you for letting me speak with you, and I thank Dr. Griffin for inviting me tonight, and I look forward to whatever questions come forward at this point. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Griffin.
you so much. Thank you so much. So as I stated earlier, we only have 5 questions, and they have approximately, we was gonna do like a minute or 2 each, but we have so much time, so relax, answer the questions to your best ability, and when they get done with the 5 questions, we'll open the floor up and you guys can ask any questions you have. So, since we started with you, Mr. Edwards, we're gonna go back down to that side, so you get to start with it, sir. The first question is, what are your top priorities for the city, and how do you plan to address them if elected?
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Griffin. I had touched on my top priorities already, but just like to drill down on them a bit. One of them is our youth and doing what we can to increase literacy, given that the school system is not our responsibility, but it's the school boards. But I really do want to explore this balanced calendar. The big issue that's going to come before council in the next 4 years, if the referendum passes, is how do we make best use of the increased revenue that comes to Petersburg as a result of that casino, or casino resort. It really is more than a casino. It's a casino resort, or a resort anchored by a casino. And my priority, again, long term, is to build Petersburg's future, using that money to build Petersburg's future. Now, what does that mean? It means getting our infrastructure improved. It means better freshwater pipes. It means better wastewater processing. Let me tell you about what I hear. I've not seen it, but I hear that we even have wooden pipes in the ground today, now, processing water. We all know we had a boil water advisory just last month. That's not acceptable. We need, in my view, to start with a plan. Where are the improvements most needed, and then how are we going to fund those improvements? And that's where my focus is going to be.
What are your top priorities for the city, and how do you plan to address them?
Thank you for the question. I'll be glad to answer it. I'm going to start off by saying we hear a lot about focusing on the youth and education, but the last school that was built was 50 years ago. So I think one of the main priorities should be, with this massive influx of casino money that this referendum passes in November, the first thing should be done is a new school. We do a disservice to our students by putting them in inadequate buildings to learn every day. Our schools are not up to the modern technology. I went to Warner Hill Elementary School, and that's currently the oldest school in operation. When I walk the halls of those schools, I still see stuff that I seen when I was in 5th grade. So how can we say that we're going to focus on education and focus on our youth when we talk about 3rd grade literacy rates when our children go to inadequate schools? That's invested in our youth by giving them the modern buildings to learn in today's world with the new growing technology that's needed. Equip them with what's needed for the 21st century and beyond. Right now, we don't have it. So that would be my #1 priority if the voters so choose to elect me in November. A school will be my main priority to get built. We put the money everywhere else. We need to put it to the kids because that's a non-negotiable priority. The second thing is we need to invest in our technology. Every election year, we hear people, I'm gonna fix building and collections, I'm gonna do this. I'm pretty sure if I ask for a show of hands on how many people has got a bogus bill, have gotten multiple bills in the past 4 years, I bet you everybody's hand would raise in this room. Nothing has been fixed. Building and collections is still a mess, so that's priority number 2. Fix building and collections and get the technology down there where people can pay their bills online without worrying about it being kicked back or the server goes down for maintenance or the like of that. Get the billing and collection straight, because then we can say, okay, we do have a true number, 50 million, okay? Let's make sure that the technology is in place to get the accurate numbers. And thirdly, I'm all for the infrastructure. We've seen pipes burst. This week, I've seen 3 or 4 water mains coming up out of the ground. Yes, the infrastructure needs to be addressed. To me, the first 2 are the main priorities. And you have my word today that if I'm elected November 5th, a school will be the first thing that I come out the gate with. Whether I get the support of the other council members or not, I will begin the discussion to build a new school.
Yes, some of the things that I've been working on, but this is what I'm saying. My focus will be on the youth and the seniors. Youth and seniors. As you all know, we have an aging population, and we need to be able to take care of those who took care of us, who still take care of some of us. So that's why when we have different developments and they have where they want to do some type of mixed use with seniors, it perks my interest, because one day if we keep on living, all of us will be there. So I want to focus on our seniors, but I also want to focus on our youth. I know that's like a buzzword. I do want to, whether we get the project or not, I want us to get a new school, because it's vital. The same schools that most of you all, if you're from Petersburg, are still there. We're still using them. I can remember us going home when it was too hot in the school and they had box fans in the windows. I remember that. You know, now they have, or either one side of the school is cool and the other side of the school is hot. So that'll be a focus of mine, to help the school board to get a new school. It comes from, coffers come from us in the state to the school, so I would like to do that. But with our seniors, I want to make sure that they're able and can afford to live where they live and live reasonably. Also, I want to focus on something that the hub of your city are 2 things. The hub of your city is always the school, because young families like to come to your city if you have a good school. And then the next thing is safety. If it's a safe place. Now, a lot of misnomers have gone out in the past about Petersburg. It seems like it's so easy to prick on Petersburg. But if you look at facts and data and things like that, not saying we're putting our head and saying things have gotten better. With our school system, things have gotten better with our safety in the city. We're cracking down on people speeding, because people come up to the mic, and some of you all been there and said they're speeding through my neighborhood. Then when you put up a camera, everybody's mad because they're getting tickets, things of that nature. So my goal would be to school, youth, the seniors, safety, but also infrastructure. Lastly, the Poor Creek affects the second ward in a major way, because all the new development is coming out that way. And I'm so happy that we're able to get there to do this development so that we can have fresh water, clean water. I think we still got wooden pipes in the ground, but no water is going through there. I just think they just left them there. But at the end of the day, we see during the winter time, sometimes we may have a major break. So that's one of the things council, we stay up with, say we hope when they drop us below a certain temperature, or if it goes so hot that we don't have a major break. So we have to focus on our infrastructure and there's some other things, but those are the main things. Our youth, our seniors, of course all this deals with economic development, our schools, building a school, and then our safety. So So those are the things that I'll be focusing on.
Belinda.
Oh. Well, I must say, every year I hear the same stories. Every year I hear us going to do this, we are doing that. But the truth of the matter is, we have our young people dying in these streets every week. Every week. When our children die, it impacts their families, it impacts our school systems, and it impacts the morale of our community. I know that there's a lot of things that we must get done here in the city of Petersburg, but one of the first things that we need to deal with is family morale. We have to build back the hope system for our community. I know that there's a lot of things that needs to be done, but when you have families, and I take nothing from our police department, Chief, he knows that I'm in a major support. We cried out to have community policing, and I think it's very important to have those things done. But it still doesn't change the fact that our children are dying in the streets, and we need help. We need resources in our community to help these parents that are consistently grieving. How do you think our children are going to school on a daily basis, dealing with the situations and the circumstances that they endure every single day in their apartment complexes, their homes? They are struggling. And even though we can sit behind closed doors and talk about many things, we need to get out in the community and look at the truth. And the fact is that these people are broken and they are hurting. You cannot fix anything that is broken until you get to the root of the problem. And we got some problems here in the city of Petersburg, and we need to stop sweeping them under the rug and acting like they don't exist. They do exist. The water issue, it exists. Every day we get bills with saying double payments. When you talk to one person, they put it on somebody else. It's time to stop putting the blame game on everybody else. Let us come to the table and build a strong foundation for Petersburg. This is not half of Petersburg, some of Petersburg, all of Petersburg. Somebody asked me the question, am I a Democrat? I have been a blood-baptized believer Democrat all my life. But me being a Democrat does not change the fact that we are people and everybody deserves to be treated fairly across this board. Now, there are issues. You cannot go into schools where there's mold. You can dress it up and band-aid it all you want to, but when you go in there, you're going to smell what you smell. You cannot go in there and expect teachers to work, and there are not healthy environments for them. Teachers are being counselors, they're being mentors, they don't have time to educate. Now, I'm not political, so I don't know anything about pipes under the water, but I can guarantee you, if I'm at that table, I'm gonna know what Petersburg needs to survive. All of Petersburg. Water issues, balance, unhealthy locations. I went through Petersburg the other day, took a picture, and I can show it to anybody that want to see it. Trash was everywhere. It wasn't even fit to enter into the park. So I understand the council may not have anything to do with the school system, but if we're going to partner with everybody else, let's partner with our schools. If we're going to partner with everything else, let's partner with our police departments. Let's partner with these families by bringing the unity back into our community. I remember when we were in school and there were the children and the families went on trips. When the last time our children had a day out anywhere other than Petersburg? When you look into our community, our youth see nothing but what they see. And that is a lot of nothing for them to do. There is absolutely nothing. So I don't understand how we can say that we care about our youth and we give them absolutely nothing to do all summer long. And thank God
for the nonprofit organizations, because it's the nonprofit organizations that is consistently finding positive things for our community to do. But that's not their responsibility. It starts with us in leadership. We are supposed to be. Now, on yesterday, all over social media, we're looking at food that's been fed to our children that was not fit. But nobody addresses these things because we want to keep covering things up and acting like Petersburg got this diamond ball hanging from the sky. It is not so. Petersburg got issues. Leaders need to come together. Whether it's my responsibility or not, it's ours. It requires the community to come together. I went down a couple of weeks ago. There is major water issues. I'm tired of paying bills, and every month my bill is doubling up. I'm tired of going to bus to schools and seeing our children fighting like they ain't got no sense. I'm tired of unhealthy people that don't. We stripped our health department on Halifax Street, so now we got the health department in the school. Do you not know that patient first has become the doctor for Petersburg? Everybody goes to patient first for physicals, patient first for headaches, patient first for physicals. Everybody. So we're spending money outside of our Petersburg. And then on top of that, some of the people that are in charge don't live in Petersburg. And if you don't live in Petersburg, you really don't understand what we as Petersburg go through. Until you know, you can say that the violence has stopped, but if you lay in a bed and you hear gunshots ringing out, you can't tell me it's safe.
Can't hear, please.
You can't say it's safe. So the truth of the matter is, change the morale and you change Petersburg. Let's get together and stop fighting against one another and build a strong foundation for Petersburg. The police department can't do it without the citizens. The schools can't do it without us. So it's time for us to make a demand and say, this is what we want. What do Petersburg want? Not what I want. What do we want as a citizen? I am Ward 2. I am Ward 2. And I am running for Ward 2. But it's not personal for me. It's about people having a healthy life in the city of Petersburg, where they can walk out of their doors, sit out at 10 o'clock at night with their families. We had a regional Stop the Violence event, had almost over 300 people there. The city did not even support those families. That children lay in streets and dead. Now, I understand that may not be my motto, but if I'm Petersburg, I represent all of Petersburg. I don't just represent the healthy. I represent the unhealthy. I represent those that are lost, those that need guidance and mentorship. Because as of last night, I listened to a mother cry out to me because it's been almost a year. And nobody has, her case for her son has not been done. Here I am trying to be a Petersburg and saying, well, talk to the chief. Matter of fact, Travis, I'm hoping that she's probably gonna call you. But I gave numbers. I give directions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We got it.
Just got off a plane coming from Hawaii.
Introduce yourself to everybody and tell them what you're doing in the community, what you plan on doing, and how you're gonna do it.
Okay. All right. My name is Annette Smith Lee. I represent Ward 6 in the city of Petersburg. I was born and raised here. Lived here all my life. All my life. For sure. I am just so elated that I'm on council. I've been on council for 8 years. And I can go back and tell you some of the things that I have done before council. One of the things that I brought in $180,000 to nonprofit agencies here in the city of Petersburg when I worked for Philip Morris USA. Throughout that time, I spent over $30,000 of my own money to support the kids in the city of Petersburg through, the band, the football, sending them to football camp, band camp, cheerleaders camp. Also, making sure that, Farmer Street Pool was painted. Provided them with flip-flops and water and, just a whole lot of things that I have done. Ensure that the seniors in my ward that was, going through some changes when they had COVID. They didn't want to come outside, so I would go to the seniors' houses, take them groceries, give them water, take them to their doctor's appointments. I did all of that. Another thing that I had did, what we partnered with Petersburg Recreation Department is Albert Jones Field has been in a distressed way for many years. As of last month, we have the lights and the scoreboard there. So the youth that occupies that field, Petersburg Athletic League, we are able so that they can have games during the night and also invite other schools and other districts to come in and play. So that was a good hit right there for them because they had nothing in reference to lighting and scoreboard. Farmer Street Park, that park has been in disarray too. And so Willie Fobbs, who lived on Farmer Street, was just instrumental of helping the youth in the community years ago. So I took it upon myself because I know how he helped us, that I named the pavilion after him. The city named the pavilion after him. And that was a plus for the youth because the kids knew about him. There are some other things I won't go into, but one of the things that I want to do is youth development. So youth development means that we have kids who are graduating out of high school that may not want to go to college. So therefore, they have Richard Bland and Bright Point now, but and Richard Bland. But Bright Point has a program which the youth can go there and get certificates for physical flow and medicine for all. They don't have to go to college. They can get a certificate in pharmaceutical or medical for those three agencies, medicine for all, physical and flow. So not everybody want to go to college. And also we're going to do a feeder program with the police department where some of the youth who are interested in law enforcement, they will go over to Chief Christian and he will develop them. They can start like in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Also, we're gonna have a feeder program for the fire department. Those kids who might not want to be a policeman or might not want to work in a chemical plant, but they might want to be a fireman. So those are some of the things that I'm working towards, youth development. Also, infrastructure. This is a big concern within the whole entire city. It's been a long time since we have had any type of infrastructure. Just remember that over 30-some years ago, we were thriving, we had money. But when we became economically depressed, like the $19 million in the hole, we didn't have any funding for just about nothing. But God be the glory, as things got better, we have some funding, and so what we developed was a list of infrastructure based on the needs of the particular area that is really in distress, okay? So that's another thing. Also, I just want you to know that a lot of the seniors who are driving, they, experiencing potholes. So we would like for that to be done. That's part of the infrastructure. if we get money for infrastructure, then our sidewalks, our streets, and our roads will be better. Okay, next, security. No, none of us would want our kids to be unsafe. Nobody. But a lot of the things that are happening within the city, these people don't even live here. A lot of the people that come here shooting and doing these bad things, they don't even live here. But God be the glory, Chief Christian and his team has really combated some things. Has it been A+? No, it's not A+. But I know that he is working towards that. So I just want you to know that those are some of the things that I'm working on: youth development, infrastructure, and also our seniors. I continue to go and check on our seniors all the time because we do forget about our seniors. The youth are important and our seniors are important. So that's one of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, is to go back and check on our seniors. So that is my platform, and also I'm here. I'm ready. I've been ready. Will be ready. I am Petersburg.
I've been out there, right? I'm new. Everybody out here, they got this record, but I'm getting a record myself. I went to a meeting not too long ago because of this, with this campaign and stuff, and this stuff is okay, but it really irks my nerve because this is the time when everybody get together and they go and talk about all this stuff, that what they gonna do, and nothing happens after all the excitement is over. I've been out here, when I decided that I wanted to run for city council, right? So I started getting involved with the community. I'm picking where I'm going at, but I'm with Miss Belinda. I'm starting from the community. When I was out there getting my signatures, the people are hopeless. In my area, what I'm gonna say about Ward 6, I think it's 50-50. I think what I'm seeing is like a new person from the outside. Half of Ward 6 is pretty nice. To elementary kids, and then how they gonna get it home and different stuff, and they're like, well, the parents are gonna do this and that. I'm not gonna depend on the parents to get there, but I'm joining the PTA. I have joined the PTA so that I can get with the parents, learning the kids, learning the parents. Like, all of us we gotta come together. And honestly, once I get with the community and really get, we can really focus on what we gotta do. We don't even need, like, some of the stuff we can do as a community and as a community advocate. We don't even need city council, we don't need the government and none of that type of stuff. And like, it don't make no sense why the school is down like this. Like, all the parents had to do was get together the first 1-2 years when they was doing it. It shouldn't be years and years and years and years and years. And I'm at the school every day. Not the first day of school and I came out there and waved and say, hey. I've been out there every day ever since the school started, and I'm participating. I'm a library aide. I'm in the art class. They need help. And when I walk through the hallways today, walking the kids, there's different kids too. Let me tell you guys, some kids that's coming to school, they so ready. Their parents got them pretty, lunch, like they ready for the challenge. And some of them are just tired. I don't even know what happened that day. Like, but I want to make school a safe haven. And that school needs to be brightened up. Like, I gotta learn where money at. Like, I gotta learn about all this type of stuff, because I'm new. So I gotta learn how to make something happen. And I'm gonna be transparent with the community. When we say, I'm not gonna sit and say, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. We're gonna come together, we're gonna plan what we're gonna do. As a team, we're gonna do what we set out to do. As the representative, I'm gonna be there to make sure it happen, and if it can't happen, then we need to understand why it can't happen. And then I want whoever saying that it can't happen, tell the community why it can't happen. And then the people are the government. Like, we really run things. We don't have to sit around and hope and wish and cross our fingers and stuff. We really can take control of our life. And that's what I want to do with the youth too, with this youth development. I got all kinds of plans. And they in action now. Like, I don't need city council, I don't need nobody to help me do this, because I'm gonna do it whether I become city council or not. It's being done. And I'm already on it. Like, we need more trades. These kids, when they come out, when you graduate, go up to Richmond and you see them kids graduating out of high school, they got certificates, they got associate degrees, they got 2 trade schools up there, they got different things that can happen. So, but we're not gonna sit around and say what other people don't have and this and that. We're gonna make things happen. And we can do it as a community, number one. And when we can become strong as a community, then we can do more. But we can't I can't, even if you vote for me, I can't do it all by myself. I'm gonna need people with me. But if I got somebody, I get y'all behind me, I'm for you. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm for real. I'm not for play. I want to make changes happen. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm not sitting around just faking it out. I live in the Ward 6. I'm at the store and everything. You know, when I seen the sign up there and I went in that store, I went off a little bit. I was like, I come in this store every day. I come in here every day, people taking my signs. There's a lot of different things happening too, and I don't really like. But I am Ward 6, I'm getting to know people, and I'm gonna continue to know people, and we're gonna make things happen, whether I become city council or not.
Thank you.
I don't take signs, I don't move signs.
I ain't saying you take it, though.
And whoever and wherever you put your signs at, everybody is, well, I came in on the last end, so I'm sorry, but we shouldn't throw,
I understand that, but you said that there was no debating, we're not going back and forth. I do apologize, because I have integrity, okay?
So, to be in fairness with our time that we have, everybody please just try to keep it as minimized as possible, because we do want the audience to be able to ask y'all questions too. And so when y'all see me move from over here up here, it's time for you to just go on and go down. Okay? So please, I'm going back over to my little corner, and I'm gonna ask you the questions, but when y'all see me moving in this direction, just go on and cut it off. Please. And then we don't have the debates, Ms. Nanny. No debates.
I'm not debating, I'm just talking.
No debates.
Okay.
So, we're gonna start with you, Ms. Black.
Oh.
How do you plan to engage and represent all members of the community, including marginalized and underrepresented groups? I'm going back to my corner.
Well, I think that being an advocate for the city of Petersburg, I'm very engaged with my community, the entire city. And I live in Ward 2, so I love Ward 2. Me and my neighbors are very active and very involved. We had our first national night out held here in the city of Petersburg and at the old Food Line Plaza, and it was amazing to see so many people in the ward, and then to listen to them say, we never did this before, we never had a national night out, and it was very exciting for me as well as it was for them, because we really got to see and meet each other. So I'm very engaged in my community. Wherever is going on in the city of Petersburg, I try to be a part. There's a lot of productive things that's taking place here in the city with our nonprofit organizations. The nonprofit organizations really do have boots on the ground, and they are very active and very involved, and I love engaging and communicating with them. So being out there in that community is just what we do. Bring up equipment, but we need flowers, we need tables out there, benches out there where people can come and sit and lay out. A lot of times we go to Bird Park. How many of you been to Bird Park and how beautiful the scenery is? We need to build that kind of morale back up in Petersburg. I often love to be able to, Halifax Street is building up. We see a lot of the businesses coming back in. And so we want to open up Halifax so people can walk the community. I see people out walking dogs and things. Come on, let's everybody get together and let's do this thing together. I got a feeling that a change is coming.
That's solid.
So,
Meetings, well, my ward meetings, I engage in that way, but also I walk around in the city. And one thing by me being from here and knowing the community, people call me from all over. Both sides of my family is here. So everybody calls, whether I'm in Ward 6 or Ward 7 or whatever, they just call because they know I'm on council. And we have if I can handle it right there, I go ahead and handle it, then I call the council person or council woman and say, look, I took care of this right here for you right quick. So I'm always engaged in the community. Whenever I go to revivals and church and stuff like that, people always come to me with their situations or issues they may have. One of the things that I am proud of, speaking of parks, of course we're renovating parks, but Anderson on Morton Street and Morton Avenue and Anderson Street down at the end, if you go straight past Good Shepherd Baptist Church, go straight down all the way to the end. We're renovating that park right now. It's a walk park. I had them to put a trail around, and they built a pavilion in the middle of it, and now we're going to start planting trees and flowers and things of that nature. The neighbors said they didn't want basketball courts down there anymore, so that's one of the things that we're doing as far as parks, and then, of course, Legends Park and things of that nature. But what I would say also is I engage the community because I get out on the weekends and sometimes I walk, sometimes I drive around. If somebody's in the yard, like today, I'll stop and wasn't necessarily for campaigning, but just say, do you need anything? I always keep my cars on me. If you need anything, give me a call. Give me a call. I got something I got to get the chief right now for somebody in another ward, talking about after hours spot. So it's always things like that when you're on council, but you have to have the insight to be able to deal with everybody, not just people in your ward, but everybody, but also with the council, because individuals on council is their ward and they want to take care of their people. So you got to have relationships with everybody, not just with the citizens, but even the individuals on council as well. So that when you do step in their ward, you'll let them know, hey, I took care of this for you. You okay with that? Please follow up with them, or vice versa. So I'm always boots on the ground. And speaking of nonprofits, I have a nonprofit called Grooming Tomorrow Leaders, something I've been doing for almost 15 years, where we take young men and groom them. We have an intern program. I'm going to wrap it up. We have an intern program that we have in the city that's been successful, and we take our young youth and we train them. We had one of the young men up in here not too long ago, back there, raise your hand, in our intern program. Yeah, so we came to the intern program, and we got many more like that. So I'm very proud that we were able to do that. Thank you.
thank you so much.
My community meetings and just going around the neighborhoods and going to different events and stuff like that, and just learning needs and putting together solutions and different things like that. So everything is going good. And
I'm sorry, go back for me. Yes,
It's me?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it'll be you.
I just want you all to know, I represent Ward 6 also. I have a full-time job. I'm a business analyst for the federal government and been there 27 years. So I have two full-time jobs. I have a full-time job working from 6:30 to 3:30, and then my full-time job with being on city council is 24/7. I just want you to know that some of the things that I've been engaged with my ward is absolutely having ward meetings. You know, it's hard to since COVID to get everybody out, but yes, I do have ward meetings. I try to have them at different places, and I've had joint ward meetings with Honor Westbrook, 6 and 7. But we've had it at Pine Acres and also at Blue Spring Elementary School. Blanford. The young ladies who were honor students, and not only honor students, any young lady who wanted to be a part of the Diamond Jewels at Blanford, myself, the young lady that just left here, Miss Muhammad Tucker, and also also the principal there, and the first lady for, the governor, First Lady Youngkin, Miss Youngkin. We all, was instrumental in that dining program where we had young ladies to come in, who has excelled and that wanted something more. And so I provided them with pearls, necklaces, and earrings. Also, Cool Spring Elementary, every year I give, I partnered with Masonic Lodge, Hilliard. We give all the kindergartens backpacks with supplies in it every year. Also, a group of us came in and did the teachers' lounge and everything. Westview Elementary School, we fed all the teachers and the new teachers there the week before school started. My constituents, if they call me, I'm there for them. I have one constituent, she is 94 years old. Her name is Miss Bonner, and she lives on Floyd Street. And then I have Mary Howell, I have Miss Cox. One of the young men that I was helping out, he passed away. But also Della Bland, Bossy Bonner, Mr. Thompson, all of those individuals, I'm here for them whenever they need something. A lot of them don't.
2008 called We Care Community Outreach. That organization feeds and clothes the homeless community every week. We also are partners with the Recovery Program, the Regional Stop the Violence, mentorship for families grieving and healing, surviving through it, mentorship for at-risk children. Why? Mentorship for drug and addiction. Now, I'm this type of person. It's whatever you want. If you vote and it is brought to Petersburg, just have a plan in place. You have to prepare. Casinos are not new to the nation. So if you get this casino come November the 5th and it's voted in, don't wait until it's built and try to come up with a plan. Prepare ourselves for the issues that will follow this casino, and it will be positive. So we cannot act it though. And I just named all of these programs that when I should have said it when our engagement. But I said these programs because this is what we deal with on a regular, daily basis. Homeless people. Right now, there's a young lady that's making over $300,000 a year. And her husband had to take her to court to have her bonded from entering into casinos. That's facts. That's what casinos can do for the rich as well as the poor. So when we bring something into our community, look around at the impact of what we're dealing with. Not who's coming in, but what we deal with as a community. Now, I am not going to stand here with signs out in the street and say, no. I'm not doing that. If you as a citizen, the community said we want it, you voted, then we have to have a plan in place to deal with our community on how they will handle this on a daily basis.
Okay. Thank you for bringing up homelessness. Y'all should have known this was coming. You know, I came to city council. I pleaded for help. Milo Jones, Councilman Jones, called me Friday and said, Pat, I'm standing here with a lady. She don't have nowhere to go. She been sleeping on the back of the library. This library was standing in for 3 months. But y'all have talked about everything. But y'all have not mentioned the homeless.
You act like it doesn't exist. It is real, but y'all won't dedicate any funding to it out your $50 million reserve. You know, I'm confused. And so that was a statement. I haven't even asked a question yet. Ken Pritchard asked me, because he's at the football game, to ask y'all one question. Everybody done talked about the schools. This is to the encumbrance here. He said, did y'all take $6 million from the school? That was just his question. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. That was the question. Did y'all take $6 million from the Petersburg schools that y'all say y'all are so interested in building up in the children in the future? All right. Encumbrance.
Yeah, so we got, anybody wanna take that question? That's one, we only can do one more question, so we got, okay, then. Well.
My question is for the two ladies in the middle. What can be done about personnel being hired from other states dictating our volunteering to help our children?
I didn't hear you say it again for me.
What can be done about personnel being hired from other states dictating our volunteering to help our children in school?
Well, I don't think if that's, you said the two young ladies, so in the middle, me, right?
Yes, correct. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, one thing, I don't think dictatorship should even be in a word when it comes to our people in our community. I really think that we need to really focus on hiring in-house, hiring in our own communities, hiring the people that are here from these regions, in the surrounding regions that is familiar with our children and our morale of a city. So it carries a conflict when you do have people from other places come in and not familiar with the demographic we have. You know, they don't understand what our people or the people in this community face on a daily basis. So dictatorship, I hate that word because nobody should be dictating anything. We are all grown and we ought to be communicating with one another to fix what is concerning the people and not making things personal. Did I answer that okay?
Yes, ma'am, you said you did.
Thank you, sir.
I agree. I agree. So you can have an opportunity to ask somebody else to ask a question.
At the Petersburg City Council meeting, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the great things that has happened thus far that the council has done or initiated. But I also think that we have to keep in mind that there are new issues that we have to come about and discuss. I'd like to see more of responses that include some impact, some outcomes that actually have happened, right? And I also like to see a little bit more collaboration, right? It sounds as though our city is not really aligned with the other agencies within the city, like the school board, right? The court system, and then city council. In order for our city to flourish and succeed, they all have to work together. Right? And it just seems like everyone is going their different directions, right? So I'd like to see a city where we're working together collaboratively. You hear the voices of the citizens, and then you implement the change that you say you want to see. And in addition to that, we also need to know what our current issues are. I don't think I was very clear on each of the councilmen or women explaining or understanding exactly what their current issues are as it relates to Petersburg as a whole, right? So as there is a vote, and everyone get out there and vote, but we do have to vote for individual wards, but we cannot forget that this is Petersburg. And what we need to do is make sure that anything and any changes and initiatives that we're doing is for the better good of Petersburg, not for one ward.